He was among those who voted against a motion to archive the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. And joining us tonight is Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Welcome to the Big Story, Senator.
I thank you for having me, Seth. And sorry, the screen is very small. And to your
Sean
co-host,
and Pauline are with me here in the Big Story. We really did want to ask you about your plans for agriculture, but we will set that aside and get there. But in the meantime, you voted against the archiving. What would have been a better alternative for you? I recall that you also were suggesting that the Senate constitute itself as an impeachment court.
well, the best for me, what we should have done was just wait. Kasi may motion for reconsideration yung House of Representatives. So, ibig sabihin, the ruling is not final. No? And because it's not final, it can be reversed, it can be modified. So, ano ba yung problema ng maghintay? No? Hindi
By
rin tama.
waiting, ano pong action ang dapat gawin? Wala, scrap lang muna yung...
Oh, we wait. It's still with the impeachment court. In fact, that was the other issue. What are we? How can we How can the Senate archive a complaint that was not referred to it? It was referred to this Senate impeachment court. So it should have been the Senate impeachment court that would have acted on it, no? Not the Senate. Walang jurisdiction yung Senado in plenary sa impeachment complaint because the exclusive jurisdiction is with the impeachment court, which has the sole, di ba, power to try and decide it.
But you are part of the majority, and being part of the majority in the Senate allows you, to express contrary views. You don't have to be aligned with your companions in the majority.
On matters of transcendental national interest, no? We vote with our conscience. Besides, Miriam Defensor was with the majority, but she voted to acquit Corona. Like I said in one of my explanation of my vote when I supported Senate President Escudero, the likes of Senators Arroyo, former Senator Arroyo, former Senator Pimentel, they were aligned with the majority, but they would, on many occasions, depending on the issue, be considered a majority of one. So, yes.
I'm curious, Senator Kiko, if for example, if as early as now you're already talking amongst yourselves, I'm talking about the senators, senator judges, kung ma-reverse yung decision ng Supreme Court, like, have you discussed like Plan A's, Plan B's, and whatnot?
No, wala pa. Besides, I'm not yet a senator judge until we haven't taken our oath. So yun. So now it's it's archived, unfortunately, and we are waiting for the resolution of the motion for reconsideration.
Archived, but can still be resuscitated, according to the view of Senator Ping Lacson.
Yes, because we didn't dismiss it. There was no motion. It was amended. Had it been dismissed, then the Supreme Court may rule that it's been moot and academic. But it is not dismissed. It's been archived. But then again, your fear is the Supreme Court may rule, no, you didn't archive it, you dismissed it, which is what they did, by the way, in the when they voided the House, the impeachment complaint that was filed by the House, which is, for me, a lot of factual inaccuracies.
Senator Tito Soto did say that archiving for him means it's as good as dead. Do you also share that belief, Senator Kiko? And also, if we were to resuscitate it, for example lang, no, that the SC rules favorably, for the House or with the House, how would we exactly resuscitate it?
Well, there are many, it's going to be a debate. For one, I would say if it is revived, if the Supreme Court reverses itself, the archiving, for me, we will argue that has no legal effect and that the impeachment court must convene and rule on the impeachment complaint, assuming that the Supreme Court reverses itself, of course. In other words, the Senate does not have jurisdiction. I will insist on that. Walang jurisdiction ang Senado sa impeachment complaint. Ang merong jurisdiction under this, ang ating saligang batas, na may exclusive jurisdiction on the case would be the impeachment court, who has the sole power to try and decide it.
But I'm also curious, Senator, what do you think are the chances of the Supreme Court reversing its ruling, since this was a unanimous vote? And what happens if they do not reverse their ruling? Can a motion for reconsideration be filed again? Because I believe there is precedents where an MR was filed about 3 to 4 times, and the Supreme Court revisited its decision. Yes.
5 times in the League of Cities case. But yeah, well, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. It's also very difficult to speculate. First, what's the ruling about? What will they, if they modify it, or what does that mean? But one thing is for sure, is clear. That MR, the motion for reconsideration, is an opportunity for the Supreme Court to correct what we believe to be serious factual errors. What did the Supreme Court do? It rendered the House of Representatives impeachment complaint void. It rendered pretty much the Senate impeachment court, it nullified all the acts of the Senate impeachment court. I mean, if you do something as unprecedented as that, the least Supreme Court could have done was check their facts. And that's why the motion for reconsideration is an opportunity for the Supreme to correct.
Actually, yes, Senator. What struck me in your manifestation was when you said, how can you be right about the law when you are wrong about the facts? And I wanted to zero in on what the Supreme Court did, and that's to rely on a news article instead of official records. Even former Justices Carpio and Morales raised a compelling argument about that. I mean, how serious is that in terms of legal terms?
Well, the facts are the basis of your ruling. Was there grave abuse of discretion amounting to a lack of jurisdiction? Therefore, if you don't have jurisdiction, whatever decision you made is void ab initio. So if the facts are wrong, then your ruling, is wrong. If your facts, it turns out your facts is in a hypothetical case that you didn't kill the person, but the court did not appreciate the facts and said you did. Therefore, your ruling is unjust, unfair, unjust, and that's what happened here. They said the 1-year bar. Prevented the 4th complaint. The constitutional requirement that prohibition of 1 year after a first complaint has been initiated, you cannot have a second impeachment. It should be barred. And problema, the initiation of the first 3 did not occur. Its archiving occurred after the 4th impeachment complaint was referred and transmitted to the Senate. So there was no first or second or third initiation because what they acted on and initiated was the 4th complaint, and then they archived the 3.
Senator Marcoleta had said
Your 1-year bar, so your prohibition of your 1-year bar, the facts behind saying that the 4th complaint is barred by 1 year, the 1-year bar, because there were 3 other impeachment complaints that was initiated, is wrong. is factually incorrect.
However, Senator Marcoleta pointed out that many of the congressmen did not even read the impeachment complaint, and this was one of the questions asked by the Supreme Court. It seems that they had knowledge about this occurrence.
Well, yes, that was alluded to in the complaint. But in the end, do we want, for example, to go into this questioning that it was a 97-page complaint? It was a 97-page complaint. 3 days of the 15 days, there was no work in the Supreme Court. Do we want now to say, did the justices, before they signed the 97-page complaint, were they able to read it? Of course, out of courtesy and respect for the co-equal, we will assume that.
All right, which leads me
Yeah.
to this question about concerning interparliamentary courtesy. Senator Amy Marcos is in her explanation of her vote and also in her press conference is urging congressmen to change the Speaker of the House, to vote him
And?
out.
What's the question?
What can you say about interparliamentary courtesy that should be observed if it has come down to these attacks against certain personalities? In point, Amy Marcos, against Speaker Romualdez.
I think that question should be directed to her.
All right. My next question is, do you think you put up a good fight yesterday for your point of view?
Well, we placed it on record. What's important is it's on record that there were 4 of us, 5, who pretty much did not agree with the majority. And that's, that's important, so that in future deliberations, our opposition would be is on record.
Because by your very point of view, the vote was useless because you said wala ngang jurisdiction ng Senado eh. It's supposed to be the impeachment court. So if it did not have jurisdiction, then what was that? What are you archiving?
Exactly, and that's what Senator Soto also, manifested. It was, in fact, he said, the impeachment complaint was, filed in the Senate. The Senate remanded it to the House. So it's the impeachment complaint now. Senate in plenary. What are we archiving?
So did you think, Senator, that you should have been sworn in first, or would that have been like a bigger obstacle to try to hop over?
Well, we already saw the numbers. So clearly, ideally, we should have been sworn in first. Pero yun nga nakakalungkot na may ruling ang Supreme Court. They were insisting that there was a ruling of the Supreme Court. It's immediately executory, and therefore we have to make a decision. And 5 of us disagreed. We said no, we don't have to make any decision. In fact, sabi ko, kung tumahimik lang tayo, naghintay, hindi ba? Dahil nga may MR ang House, that's also interparliamentary courtesy and respect for a co-equal.
Oops. Senator, okay.
Order of the court. We would
Nag-freeze kayo konti.
Pero talagang, hindi ko alam Talagang gigil na gigil tapusin. Nakakalungkot dahil nga, and I said this also, what the Supreme Court did, in effect, nullified, all the acts of the impeachment court. But the Constitution says we have the sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. And because there is still a motion for reconsideration, the least that we actually abdicated our constitutional mandate and duty to uphold and defend the Constitution as having the exclusive jurisdiction over the case and the sole power. This is not, the Supreme Court is not above the Constitution, unfortunately. And worse, they did that with a misapprehension of the facts,
Well,
basing
Senator-
it on.
Yes. Oh, it seems like what's happening now is everyone is debating about technicalities and procedure. So, do you think we are being led astray to the essence of the impeachment process, which is to hold public officials accountable?
Well, that's precisely why the whole impeachment case is under the Section 11, which is public accountability. But regardless, it does not who the respondent is in this case. We will get to that eventually. But what's important is precisely at this point, that the power, exclusive jurisdiction and sole power of the Senate was
Senator,
rendered. Yeah.
okay,
Ang malungkot dito mas mahirap na rin ngayon. In fact, ano bang ginawa ng Supreme Court? Kaya dapat talaga tayo'y umaapela. In the end, respetuhin natin ang magiging pasya ng Korte Suprema. Pero sabi ko nga, habang hindi pa final ang pasya, bakit natin pipilitin? And number two, ano bang nangyari doon? Mali yung facts nila. Di ba? Mali yung facts. ABS-CBN actually came out with a statement affirming that the attribution to them was mistaken. So kung mali yung facts, ano ba yung ginawa nila? Di ba? They amended, the Supreme Court amended the Constitution by putting more requirements in the second mode, yung 1/3 of all members of Congress. Nagdagdag sila ng 7. And so they amended the Constitution. They nullified a case that was
Senator?
already in the Supreme Court with the impeachment court, and then they nullified the impeachment complaint. So sana buuhin nila because this is really very disturbing.
Senator, the ball definitely is now in the Supreme Court's court. So babantayan natin yon. For now, let's table this and we'll go to kind of a
That's
slightly
what-
table.
Table.
Yes. We'll table it for now, not archive, table lang. But I just want to set the record straight, no, because the other day, our sister program had an interview with Senator Trillanes. He said some things, no, about former VP Leni Robredo, about how you and Senator Bam supposedly kind of asked her some favors, and also na hindi
Asked
kanya...
Senator Trillanes,
Yeah,
you asked Senator Trillanes to delay the arrest of
Former
President Rodrigo Duterte because it may affect your chances in the elections. Did that ever happen?
I said that?
No, I believe it was
Supposedly
Senator
you and Bam Aquino.
You
It
and-
was
yeah.
with Senator Bam.
Both of you.
Oh no, not me.
Senator Bam. So you were about going up the stage
Yes, yes.
in Pangasinan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Senator,
Alright.
so he did say that about Senator Bam and about you, just to get your confirmation whether totoo daw ba na hindi kayo pinaakyat ni VP Leni sa stage, sa sortie sa
Dahil
Pangasinan.
sa Rosa, merong nagtutulak ng tandem na Rosa.
Robredo Sara.
Alam naman ng tao yan na in some areas, the locals wanted Lenny, and I said that if I have to decrease so that she will increase, that's fine with me. It's a non-issue for me.
Ba't nilaglag ba kayo ni Leni Robredo? In some places?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. It's anyway, ang sa atin, I think there are more important issues to discuss. The
Alright,
impeachment,
okay. Well,
the problems of agriculture.
We will get there. Another thing kasi, parang it appears that the opposition is shooting itself in the foot. Senator Trillanes, former Senator Trillanes is casting doubt on Leni Robredo. Para kayong nag-aaway-away. It was perceived that you abandoned Risa.
Ayos na yun. Hindi
Oo nga.
naman totoo. ba't kayo nakikinig sa mga intriga, di ba?
But why?
You know,
Why is this going on? It seems that you
this
are
is
you
this
are
is
kalat.
par for the course. You know, it's part of the opposition's how do you call it efforts at bringing everyone together. Kasama yan, so wala problema yan. Yeah. Kasama yan, but I know and I believe in the end, di ba? This is fireworks, ika nga. Mangyayari yan. Pero I believe in the end magkakaisa rin ang aming hanay.
So solid pa rin ang opposition? We just want to have it categorically straight from the horse's mouth, Senator.
You know, one day is a long time in politics. So I'm not worried. You know, maybe it will get you sound bites or it will get you more views or more subscribers because it's a controversy. But in the end, mas mahaba ang pinagsamahan namin. Nina Bam, nina Sani, ni VP Lenny, ni Risa. Mas mahaba ang aming kasama. Si Risa, college pa lang. Pareho kaming aktivista. No? Si Lenny, Mrs. pa lang ni Secretary Jessie, mayor pa lang. Siya yung sumasalubong sa akin dyan sa Naga. Si Bam, ako ang campaign manager niyan noong 2013. Si Sunny and I, we were together in the opposition. So there are more reasons for us to come together when the country requires it. And I also believe there will be, I, for example, gave up my Senate bid in 2022 because Lenny asked me to run. And I think we've gone through a lot, all of us, and we've fought side by side. And so this hidwaan or konting tisnisan, maayos natin yan. I am not worried about it because I know there's more reason for us to unite than for us to be at odds.
Well, Senator Risa Ontiveros actually...
Kalma lang.
Okay.
But yes, Senator, so Senator Ontiveros did tell our sister program also earlier that there is an effort to unite the opposition, especially in the next few months. Actually, sabi niya, 9 months, parang buntis daw. You're gonna see how it unfolds first. But are there any plans from the opposition, if you are the real opposition, to strike an alliance with a third force, probably the Marcoses, as you look ahead to 2028?
Wala pang pinag-uusapan. Ako, 2025 pa lang ang iniisip ko dahil marami akong pinangako sa ating mga kababayan sa mababang presyo ng pagkain at pababain, suportahan ng ating mga magsasaka.
Okay. So agriculture was really the primary reason why you wanted to be part of the majority and to have control of the Agriculture Committee. Now,
and mind you, it's even beyond the leadership of Senate President Escudero, although of course that is part of the whole effort. In fairness to the President, and because he has publicly said repeatedly his desire to address the challenges in agriculture, I think this is the first time that a president decided to become Secretary of Agriculture. So
no, it's not the first time. GMA wanted to do that too, but
she didn't do it.
She
didn't do it.
The burning issue now, Senator, is the.
Let me finish my point.
All right, go ahead.
My point is, if the president is sincere, and I'm willing to help him, I think we can do a lot. Because I've seen the problems of agriculture.
Okay.
I faced the challenges of bringing down rice prices in 2014, 2015, and I succeeded.
That's
That's
actually my follow-up question, because the burning...
let me finish. I'm finishing.
Okay.
And we were only able to do that because the president then gave me his full support. So I can do this again and help the Secretary of Agriculture but we need the president's support. And getting the chairmanship of the Committee on Agriculture, I said that in the beginning. I'm willing to set aside, politics. Walang kulay ang gutom. So this is, we intend to shake things up, and I hope, and if the president is sincere, we can help each other make it happen.
Right now, he is addressing the flooding of rice importation by banning the imports for the time being, but this needs a greater policy, one of which is funding the NFA so that it can be able to influence the market. So is that part of your legislative agenda?
When I was NFA chairman of the board, for the first time in the history of NFA, we rejected overpriced bids 4 times, not just 1 time. And we saved the government 7 billion. So I know how to put in place safeguards to ensure that the importation of rice by NFA is transparent, open, and we get the best price for whatever we're buying.
But they don't import anymore.
But again, the president has to buy into it, the proposal. So we are reviewing the rice tariffication measure.
I was going to ask, are you going to amend it? Because Secretary Tiu Laurel said he has reached out to your office and you have had some preliminary talks. Are you going to champion the amendment of the rice tarification law in the 20th Congress?
I believe it has to be revisited, yes.
It's urgent, isn't it?
Yes, it's, of course. Food prices are very expensive. How do we bring it down? So, yes, that is important. Bottom line is, hindi tama na masyadong mataas ang hunger incidence, masyadong mataas ang presyo ng bigas at iba pang bilihin. Rice is one of the biggest drivers of inflation. When we brought down rice prices from 15% inflation to 0.8% inflation from June to June 2014-2015, by September of 2015, because we tamed rice inflation, inflation nationwide was lowest in 20 years. When rice prices go up and stay up, everything stays up. When rice prices go down, everything else follows. So if we want to address bringing down the prices of goods, basic goods, we have to manage rice.
One final question on the ICC detention of President Duterte. It was brought up by Senator Trillanes that you thought it would affect your chances in the elections. Did that ever come up? And what is your
I'm not sure.
position
I'm not sure he referred to me. I read all the articles. He didn't mention my name, so I don't know why you're asking
Or
me.
maybe it was Senator Bam Aquino.
Well,
But what
well,
is your position on
I hope you
this?
clarify it, diba? Because you're asking me that he said. I read the articles that he didn't mention my name, so I don't know which article that
No,
is.
the question is your position on him facing the trial for crimes against humanity.
I was one of 5 petitioners questioning our withdrawal from the ICC. That's Pangilinan versus Cayetano. And there we argued that, the Senate had to have concurrence. We objected to the withdrawal from the ICC. So that has been my position since, and it hasn't changed. Yeah.
All right, we thank you for your time, Senator Pangilinan. That was Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, Chairman of the Agriculture Committee.